If you were out at sea in the middle of a storm, would you rather be in a sturdy ship or a rickety old lifeboat? The sturdy ship, right? You'd feel much more comfortable weathering a storm in a worthy vessel. Or let's say you're on land in the middle of a hurricane, right? Winds blowing over 100 miles an hour all around you. Would you rather be in a solid building made out of brick, reinforced with steel and all kinds of other stuff? Or would you rather be in a straw hut? Well, that's a no-brainer, right? You'd rather be in that sturdy, secure building, reinforced, made out of brick that's going to withstand the wind. You know, in either case, you're still in a storm. You're in the midst of a storm, but you have more comfort knowing that you are in a secure dwelling. You take comfort in that security. Well, I mention this because I'm looking at the gospel reading for today. It's Thursday of the 12th week of Ordinary Time. And there's a reading from the 7th chapter of Matthew's gospel. And Jesus is instructing us. He says, "Everyone who listens to these words of mine and acts on them will be like a wise man who built his house on rock. The rain fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and buffeted the house, but it did not collapse. It had been set solidly on rock." But then he says, "Anyone who listens to these words of mine but does not act on them will be like a fool who built his house on sand. The rains fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and buffeted the house, and it collapsed and was completely ruined." You see, the one who built his house on rock and the one who built his house on sand went through the same storm, right? The situation is the same in both of these examples Jesus gives us. In both examples, the rains fell, the floods came, the winds blew, right? Following Christ's commandments, listening to his word and acting on it doesn't spare us from all the trials and distresses of life, but it gives us that sturdy dwelling. It gives us that sure foundation that will bring us comfort amidst the storms. Because when we hear the word of God and act on it, and that's an important clause that Jesus puts in here. It's not enough to hear. It's not enough to receive his word. You have to put it into action in your life by living your life according to God's commands. We have security because we know then that nothing in this world, as horrible as it might be, as much rain will fall, as strong as the winds will blow, literal rain and winds, right? Or metaphorical, whatever the struggles in our life are that are causing us stress and anxiety. No matter how bad it gets, we know that we're right with God. We know that we are living a good Christian life, that we're taking advantage of the sacraments, right? Going to confession when we sin, receiving the Eucharist to commune with God. We're praying, we're listening to God, we're in a right relationship with God. We have security and comfort because we know that none of the stresses and the tragedies and the struggles of this world can take away that relationship we have with Christ. And at the end of the day, at the end of our lives, that will be the only thing that will matter. Indeed, it's the only thing that matters for eternity. And in that, we can find sure peace and comfort, no matter what winds blow our way. Praise be Jesus Christ.